welcome back to the T-Bird podcast. This is T-Bird coming at you on March 26th, 2025. It truly is what a day for the Pulse Chain ecosystem for Hex. And what a day to mark what is a very historic day for the Pulse Chain and Hex community, with everything that we've been seeing unfold with Richard Hart's Twitter storm, which has just been a massive wake-up call. It's served as a massive wake-up call for especially for a lot of the new people that are just coming in or have been just coming into the ecosystem in the last, 6 to 12, even up to 18 months, or at least until since Pulse Chain launched nearly 2 years ago. And even people who haven't got any exposure to the Pulse Chain and Hex ecosystem yet. One of the silver, there are a bunch of silver linings to things that have unfolded as a result of the exposure to the truths behind the flaws in the code in PMaker, which by default being connected to PDI, and the flaws in PDI because of PMaker, however you want to frame it. So it's further reinforcing and highlighting how important it is for code to be truly decentralized. There cannot be admin keys, aka middleman D, in the way of that. So something that a powerful feature that Hex has had since the very beginning, since it launched as a finished product over 5 years ago. What makes it so secure as a decentralized product on blockchain is that it has no admin keys. It doesn't need to be glamorized or doesn't need to be. When it comes to anything to do with decentralization in crypto, there needs to be. Richard Hart has put out so much educational and informative content over the years about what the true definition of decentralization is in the context of code. Of course, there's going to be centralization in terms of coin ownership, token ownership, whether it's a layer one blockchain or whether it's a smart contract on a blockchain, what have you. But the most important element in decentralization is the code itself, because one of the key takeaways out of everything that's unfolded with this forked over coin from Ethereum when Pulse Chain was forked nearly 2 years ago, is basically anything that gets forked over as whatever decentralized features that may appear to exist in that particular coin that got forked over. There are still threat vectors and threat mechanisms that can still be exploited, which the overwhelming majority of crypto participants just won't understand or won't be able to, decipher. And so at the end of the day, no matter how much belief you have in the coin that happens to have a front door or backdoor exploit in some way, shape, or form, it's basically unsalvageable. No matter how many narratives you try to manipulate in order to satisfy, how do I put this? how does basically narratives are not enough, and narratives is what constructs the belief in a particular coin. And so if you're completely relying on narratives in order for a coin to become successful, it's not enough. It's the period, end of story. So what you've got with something like Hex is that not only do you have the full reassurance on the code side that it's unexploitable, no admin keys, 100% immutable, 100% permissionless, all the yield that you generate as a result of staking / mining is all 100% decentralized, and the full self-custody, you have full control. No one else can take control. You have the keys. So this has been so aggressively emphasized by the Hexagon community and Pulse Chain at large. And the significance of this cannot be overstated. So with that said, I'm going to just see, I'm going to check the chat and see if there's anyone in here. Cool, Hex Down Under's in here. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the support. Let me see. So I'm not going to make this stream too long. As stated in previous streams, I'm going to keep my streams relatively short, but today is not only a massively historic day for Hex and Pulse Chain overall with regard to reinforcing the power and significance of full decentralized code, but this day is also, from an energetic standpoint, in the context of numerology and astrology, this is, it's a good day to be vocalizing what's going on in crypto overall. And in the context of the macro with crypto, things are still pretty down. Prices are down across the board. Just going to quickly check and see where things are at price-wise. So right now, just give me a sec. Okay, so right now, we're still at pretty much the all-time lows, or even slightly below. Like it's made new all-time lows at 4027. PulseX, which is the main primary DEX token of Pulse Chain itself, also at the lows. Inc as well, on the lows. Hex as well, both on Ethereum and Pulse Chain are down. So this is the kind of if I was someone who was completely new, looking at just purely, like objectively, just looking at all the fundamentals of Pulse Chain and Hex, and just seeing these prices, it would be probably worth looking into. Of course, this channel is not providing any financial advice of any kind, but just for my personal opinion, these are pretty good entries. If you feel like there's genuine value potential going forward with the Pulse Chain ecosystem overall, and look, at the end of the day, like there's the amount that the Hex and Pulse Chain the amount of pain, not just in the context of price, but just the amount of FUD and slander and libel that this community has had to endure for so long is literally unprecedented. I'm talking about like, this is like even beyond the level of hatred, FUD, and assault that Bitcoin got in its earliest years. And the fact that the community, which is a much larger community now than what it was even just a couple of years ago, and also the data is also showing that hex stakers are increasing, hex holders are increasing as well. That 200 to 250,000 people globally still holding the line. We still have influencers who've been around since the earliest days of Hex, still here talking about it at these lows, still drilling home the powerful fundamentals, especially in the context of the strength of the community, the strength of the code. It's like being part of this movement is something that I could have never foreseen and expected when I first started looking into Richard Hart and Hex, and then further down the line, everything that is built with Pulse Chain. So it's, for me personally, it's an honor and a privilege to be part of this movement. And I knew what I was getting myself into, even from the beginning, when I was far less weathered in the crypto world. You get the extreme volatility on the upside and the extreme volatility on the downside. That's just how it works. And the common expression, the price you pay for the highest appreciating asset class is the volatility in both directions. So you have to be able to emotionally and psychologically stomach the extreme downside volatility as well. And that's why the fact of the matter is, most people, even people that have been in crypto for multiple cycles, will still tell you that it's not, especially if you're exposed and you're living and breathing this stuff all the time, and you're following and tracking and analyzing and doing all the due diligence that you need to do as an investor on a daily basis. It's most people are just not going to be emotionally equipped to be able to deal with the swings. And so, and I can speak for myself. So I'm born on the 26th. So the 26 is 8 energy. 2 + 6 is 8. And so just quickly sort of dovetailing into numerology and astrology with what we're talking about here. This is also not mentioning that this is the 26th of March as well. And so by me streaming today, it aligns my own energy, and not just the 8 energy, but specifically the 26th, because I'm born on the 26th, aligning myself with the day, the 26th day of the month as well. So the 8 and 8 energy align. So on the subject of the 8 energy, there is no, you're going to get, when it comes to 8 energy, there's always the extremes to the upside and the extremes to the downside. There's nothing ever in between. And this is in the context of money as well. So as an 8 myself, being born on the 26th, being the second most prevailing energy in my vibrational makeup, I'm firmly familiar with dealing with the mindset and the discipline that comes with grappling with the extremes on both ends of the scale, the extremes of having a lot of money and the extremes of having nothing in between. So let's go to the chat quickly and see who's dropping in. GDP PLSX, I recognize you from Twitter. Good to see you, man. I'll just thanks, man, for putting in your energy, doing what matters for Pulse Chain and Hex community. God bless you. Appreciate you, brother. I'm seeing you out there in Twitter land. Thanks for the support. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Keep pushing. I'm an ox. It's a snake year. I'm in my one personal year cycle. I'm going hard. Going hard anyway, but taking it up to another level this year. That's for sure. All the support and all any donations that come through helps me keep going. Literally any support. And the people who've been supporting my Twitter account for any length of time, really appreciate it. Wild SJ, always love to see you. Thanks for the support. So the Troper dev is selling all as a Troper for ETH right now, live on stream. Oh shit. Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, it's with this Twitter storm. So let's quickly speak about that. So the Twitter storm that Richard Hart has just thrown out onto Twitter today, literally even just in the last 3 or 4 hours mostly, is probably the biggest tweet storm that I've seen from him for quite a while. It serves multiple functions. One, it's not just destroying all the false narratives that are surrounding PDI with regard to the bug exploit. Two, it also further like 100% confirms to people from the outside that Richard Hart is not only watching everything very closely all the time in terms of what the community is doing, whether it's just general tweet activity on Twitter or YouTube streams, whatever it happens to be. He's always there watching in the background, as he always has, and he's 100% like in a good spot. Which is definitely reassuring for the community, especially in the context of the Interpol attacks and the SEC attacks. And now we've actually, we've got the SEC attacks behind us, even though it sort of feels like it's been extended out because of the 30-day extension and the stupid shit behind all that. But that's a nothing burger. At least to me, that's a complete nothing burger. In the legal context of things. So, the way I look at it is it's only a matter of time before the Interpol thing gets resolved as well. We know there's a lot of BS around that as well. And also the confirmation of the SEC stuff being behind us is just how open and forthright Richard Hart is now with how he's framing his tweets as well. So he's not holding anything back. He's not being cryptic anymore, like it felt like he was being for a pretty long period of time. Which I think the cryptic nature of a lot of his tweets before the SEC stuff got resolved, I think was heavily exploited by some people in the pulse chain world. But that now is totally crushed and and curb stomped. So so I've got some more people coming through. We've got Sandy Beach up in the house. Love seeing Sandy Beach. She's such a pillar of support for the Hex and Pulse Chain community. Always has for such a long time. Good to see you too. So much respect for all the women and the ladies of the Hex and Pulse Chain community who have stayed loyal to Richard Hart and Hex and Pulse Chain for many years. You have so much respect for me, and you guys always help to keep things balanced with regard to the masculine and feminine energies when it comes to a community vibe. And the tendency is in crypto communities, by default, they're going to be dominated by men, which you would expect. But it's always so sobering to have many women backing up, Richard Hart, all the way and supporting this community. Who else we got here? Malafi Azize, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Wow, we've got someone from Gambia in Africa jumping into the stream. Thanks for the support. I know how hard it is for a lot of people out there. It's not easy. This crypto bear market has been brutal for a lot of people out there, including myself. But we just got to keep fighting on, maintain resilience. My endurance is unshakable. My conviction is unshakable. So whatever sharks and whales are left in Hex and Pulsion out there, do your worst. You want to keep dumping the lows. Fine by me. I'm just going to keep DCAing and I'm staked out, so I'm DCAing every day just by DCA, just by being in this long term. So I'm not going anywhere. Never have. I've been out here day in, day out since I got in. So I think I'll leave it there. I won't drag this out too long. Keeping it short and sweet. Thanks for everyone that has dropped in. Probably going to do a couple more streams before the end of the month. We've got the new moon coming through on the 29th, which is only a few days away, and this new moon also happens to come through right before the start of April, which is the start of the new financial quarter as well. So there's a corroboration of beginnings energy in that context, which I think is going to translate into positive price momentum for crypto overall. And that would include, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of crypto in general. But I think, of course, things can continue sideways, continue in any direction. But I think the next quarter is going to be very interesting. And I maintain a very bullish outlook for the rest of this year. So much love to all the Hexicans out there in the trenches, maintaining the vibes. I would say if I'm probably going to do my next stream probably either on the 29th or the 30th but no confirmations yet. But yeah, I'm still going to be floating around in Twitter, and you can always catch me there. Anybody who's new, who's a little bit confused by all the drama and entertainment, whatever you want to call it, it's happening right now on Pulse Chain and Hex. Don't hesitate to hit me up in the DMs. And also, any imposters that are posing as me on Twitter, it's not me. Any fake accounts. This account that I'm pointing to right now, this is the only account on Twitter that's me, at the real T-Bird Hex. So make sure you block and report any fake imposter accounts that try to hit you up in the DMs, because I won't outright DM anyone. And so hit me up in the DMs. I've got a whole ton of all kinds of accounts trying to hit me up in the DMs, but I can sift through them pretty well, and I'm on there a lot. So if you have any questions regarding the ecosystem, need any help on stuff, just throw in a couple of DMs, and I'll do what I can. And Richard Hart, if Richard Hart is out there, hope you're doing well. There are some of us who are, maintaining true loyalty to the value potential of the Pulse Chain ecosystem going forward. Hex as well. The saga continues, and onwards. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.